Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Ladies Power Lunch Show. I'm really excited today because we are going to have a conversation that I think you're all going to really appreciate. I want to say hi to everybody who's joining us over on Facebook. Hi, Judy. If you are joining us over on Facebook, I need for you to do something for me. I need for you to just put a little comment to say that you're there because it's Free Gift Friday and I need to know you're there so that we can choose our Free Gift Friday winner. Make sense? Awesome. We have over here on our Zoom call with us Lorraine and Typhanie, and we also have Malika who is joining us. So I want to take a minute to just acknowledge these wonderful, wonderful women for showing up on the call today. And I want to invite you to introduce yourself. So, Lorraine, will you say who you are very briefly and what it is that you do?
So, hi everybody. My business is Fabulous Begins at 50. I started on my health journey 7 years ago with this company, Isogenics, when I turned 72. And I have been loving my life and sharing my gift of life with as many people as want to hear about it. Lorraine Sanborn, Fabulous Begins at 50.
Fabulous begins at 50, and aren't you fabulous? I love it. Malika, is it possible for you to unmute and just share with us who you are and what it is that you do? Or if you're not in a position to do that, that's perfectly fine, and we could circle back to you later. Okay, great. That sounds fine. Malika is a special education teacher for the last 12 years. Well, thank you so much for joining us. That's wonderful. And then, of course, we have Jackie and we have Judy over here on our Facebook group. Jackie says, awesome to see you, Lorraine, looking vibrant as always. Wonderful. So, Typhanie, we are really excited to have you on the show today. And fun fact, everyone, yesterday we had a call on, we hosted a room, Ladies Power Lunch hosted a room in Clubhouse, and Typhanie was on that call, and it was so wonderful and just so enriching. So I'm really excited for her to share her wisdom with us all today. Typhanie, welcome. Could you please tell everybody who you are and what it is that you do in the world?
Sure. So I'm Typhanie Winfield-Alexander, and I'm a holistic life coach, and I also do professional and personal development. So I have a background in early child education. So I've been working with children and families for over 25 years. So that was my pre-life. And so coaching, I hope, continues to be like my life here and moving forward. So they all kind of mesh together. It's all that spirit of love and coaching and teaching and learning and just that whole cycle of that. So that's who I am and what I do. I definitely work with people to help them work on specific action plans for their goals, both professional and personal.
So, sort of like strategic planning, would you say?
Definitely strategic planning, but more on that personal level. So we start with the individual and then really look at how the things that they want to solve, how they touch on all the different areas of their life. So it's a holistic approach. So not just finances or health or self-care. Yes, we are going to work on those things, but we also want to bring some attention to how those things impact the other parts of your life. So there's a whole elevation, not just success in one area, but across the board.
That fits so perfectly. Even you're even wearing the success in any season colors. I mean,
I didn't
you
know
are
that.
just all success all the time. I love it. It's wonderful. I just want to say hi to some of the people over on our Facebook group. Hi,
Mhm.
Carol. Hi, Lorraine. Hi, Jackie. Hi, Sarah. It's all flying by so fast. I can't get it. If I didn't get a chance to shout you out, I apologize. But I want to say hi and I want to say thanks for all the hearts and the likes. And if you're joining over on the Facebook group, just drop a comment in the chat. That way, when we're choosing the winner for today for Free Gift Friday, we can have you be in the running. So, Typhanie, when you're
Mhm.
working with your clients, what's the main focus of your work with them?
Mhm,
What is it
mhm.
that you really, really hope to teach your clients when you're working with them?
Well, first of all, I love to teach acceptance of who they are and where they are with an honesty and a truth and a self-love. I think that everything kind of has to start there. Our inner voice and our and people sometimes on the outside, there's a lot of beating up that goes on, especially
Mhm.
when we talk about, could have, should have, would have, feelings of regret, mistakes, lost or missed opportunities. And sometimes a lot of that sadness and a lot of that despair and depression, it comes from those thoughts and feelings that we accept about who we are and what we can and can't do and what our abilities are. So I kind of like to meet people where they are first and foremost and develop a rapport there that, I see you and I know what that feels like. And you can definitely take steps to come out of it. But I think that that's the first thing for me. I think that's the nurturer in me, that part of me that also like to work with children and families and whatnot. That's kind of an innate quality I like to bring to coaching is the nurturing part. Um, but more than that, it's to give them the tools and strategies so that they can follow that process and be successful. Kind of a rinse and repeat, as it were, of regardless of what you're going to face, you can apply what you've learned. And you don't necessarily need Tiffany anymore.
So, for success for your
Mhm.
clients, what would you say is like the number one thing that we should all be focused on?
Oh, I think first of all that success, you have to redefine that for what it means to you is. So success is relative, right? Depends
Hmm.
on what the objective is and that it has to be meaningful to you. I mean the simplest answer would be, using those strategies that they call SMART goals, where you have to be very specific, it has to be measurable. That SMART goals are something that you could look up on Google. There, it's in
Hmm.
the populace. But beyond that, I think it really, you have to know yourself. That is by far, I think, one of the most simple quotes by Socrates: know thyself. Like, really know what it is you are and what it is you want. And don't be afraid if those things aren't what you would consider good or right. Look at the whole you and accept the whole you. And from there, start to plan. Does that make sense?
Oh, that makes perfect sense. So, for somebody who they might be looking at a goal or
Mhm,
a plan
mhm,
that feels really aligned for them, but it
mhm,
might not be the thing that might be the most accepted or the thing that other people might
mhm,
be the most approving of. What would your
mhm.
advice for somebody like that be?
Right. So the question would be, first of all, what's your why?
Mm-hmm.
Why do you want to do this thing or show up in this way or present yourself as such? Is it internal or is it being put upon you externally? So I think that's still that self-knowing piece of, why is it you want to do this thing? And then you really can think about what is the cost if you don't pursue it? Like, what does it mean to your life? What does it build in you emotionally, mentally, if you don't pursue this thing? Are you losing a part of yourself per se? Are you denying the world a gift that is uniquely yours to give? Anybody can do a cookie cutter version of a topic or a service or, a parenting style or, what you contribute to a team. But it's the unique quality that is you that actually makes the connection that could transform a life.
Yeah, that makes so much sense. If we are trying to live that more holistic, that more successful life, what are the
Mhm.
things that we should be avoiding? And really feel free to, drop in any stories that you might have about any experiences that you might have had personally, or even clients that you are free to share with us?
Sure. I will first say that the words, coulda, shoulda, and woulda definitely need to be taken with a grain of salt. That's first and foremost, because I think that we often judge ourselves so harshly and unfairly based on things that happened in the past, that were we who we are sitting here today, if we had the information, if we had the resources, if we had the soul, if we had the state of mind, if we had the desires that we have as the person we're sitting here today, back then, we would have done something differently. So I think that we have to not compare ourselves to others or compare ourselves to our past selves. Does that make sense? Like
Sure.
that comparison piece is it can be debilitating, and it can take the wind out of your sails, and it can send you down this rabbit hole of self-judgment that doesn't serve you. So I would definitely say we got to start scraping off our plates those things that no longer serve us. Do not judge yourself so harshly that you can't find grace to make changes. Changes just begin with choices. It's a decision. I'm deciding that this no longer serves me. Now I have to figure out what are the actions I can take, who are the people I can be around, what are the things that I have the ability to do that are going to help me make those changes. So I would say definitely don't beat yourself up. Absolutely not.
So it seems to me, and just listening to you talk about this, it seems to me like this is coming from a place of personal knowledge for you.
You could say that.
Well, would you be kind enough to share with us,
Yeah.
what brought you to the point where you can absolutely and
Hmm.
unequivocally say to us, don't
Hmm.
beat yourself up?
Hmm. I would say that in youth, we do what we think we want to do based on expectations, right? So maybe
Sure.
some values that we were brought up with, some things that we want to show up as, so we don't disappoint others. I definitely on a personal level had a lot of people pleasing on my plate, for sure. And what
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know at the time was that that people pleasing quality went way, way, way back into early childhood, from relationships that I didn't have, that maybe as I got older I thought I should have, or that I felt maybe were missing. It had to do with the fear of rejection, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you would show up in certain ways where saying yes to things that you didn't want or that were not in your best interest was a lot less scary than being cast out or shut out or shunned or lonely. That's a very scary thing to grow up with as an adolescent and a young adult. In my specific case, I was married young and I was a young parent. So I had to grow up super, super fast.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
so a lot of the lessons I learned were with feet to the fire, kind of like in real time, parenting mistakes, relationship mistakes.
Nobody's ever made any parenting mistakes.
And I think for myself, I came to realize in my late 30s how much of myself I sacrificed to be everything for everyone else, to be the friend, to be the wife, to be the mother. And at one point, Typhanie didn't even know what her favorite food was anymore, or what movie I want to watch if I'm alone, or if I wanted to go to a restaurant. I found myself thinking, well, what would the people in my life want? So I had to do a lot of rediscovering of who I am, what I want, what I don't want, and what sets my heart on fire. At one point, I remember I was going to be a corporate lawyer. And I think about that now, and I'm like, I would be a horrible corporate lawyer. Like, that's not what I want. That is not the life that I would have chosen. But I thought at one point in my life that was going to be successful, that was like one of the goals that would meet and tick off all of those expectations that I had on myself, but also, from some of my upbringing and some of the desire to achieve.
I I think a lot of the women in our group will definitely relate to what you're talking about. Absolutely. And of
Mhm.
course, we're seeing a lot of likes and hearts and whatnot over on our Facebook page. Just want to say thank you to everybody who's joined us over there.
Mhm.
And as I said, today's Free Gift Friday. So
Mhm.
if you are on the call, just pop a note in the chat to say, hi, I'm here, so that I can put you on the list to be a part of the drawing. Tell me something.
Mhm.
Typhanie, I mean, when we think about things like words of wisdom, if you had a word of wisdom to give to everybody, one
Mhm.
thing that you wanted them to take away from our call together today, or any
Mm.
hacks or any resources that you could share, what would you say?
I think it's that phrase, choices create changes.
Mm-hmm.
That's that simple. Like literally every person, every situation, every email, every message, everything that you're going to face presents you with a choice in the moment. And it's in that moment you have to make a choice of how you're going to respond. So you can react emotionally without thinking. You can, jump in without much consideration of the potential consequences, or you can consider, let me pause, let me reflect, and let me respond in a way that's going to take me closer to the life I want to lead. And that's like very visceral, and it's difficult to do sometimes in the moment. Like, what are you going to do when someone cuts you off in traffic? How are you going to choose to respond? What are you going to do when the person in front of you in the grocery store is taking much longer than is quote unquote necessary to check out and you have things to do? When your child comes to you and asks a question, are you going to give them the short answer that's not going to facilitate conversation? Or are you going to take that opportunity to connect with them? Ask them an open-ended question. Ask them how they feel about something. So literally, it's how is my next choice going to impact my life? Is it taking me towards the life I see for myself? Or is it taking me down a road that's going to be more isolating, more self-defeating? If I buy 5 pairs of shoes,
Which we all definitely can relate to wanting to do.
what are the consequences of buying those 5 pair of shoes? Is there a way for me to buy those 5 pair of shoes differently that will have a different desired outcome? So I'm not saying you can't buy 5 pair of shoes. What I'm
I'm really
asking
glad
is,
you're not saying that.
I am not saying, listen, I am of all people not saying you can't buy 5 pairs of shoes. But what I am saying is, have I set myself up for success to be able to buy said 5 pairs of shoes? So am I monitoring my budget? Am I making decisions on which things have a priority? Are the five
Mm-hmm.
pairs of shoes a priority? Or is paying this car payment or these transportation expenses so that I can continue to be gainfully employed, or whatever the choices are? You have to decide, is this decision taking me closer or further away? And budgeting is one of those things that I had to 100% own, because especially post divorce, I made some major mistakes. And let me tell you, it was everybody else's fault. Oh, they charged me this late fee, or I sent it in, they got it late, and then no, 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 no. It took me sitting down to say, okay, Typhanie, you're avoiding some things. You have not taken accountability and responsibility for some things. And if you want this area of your life to improve, you're going to have to get super honest about what your strengths and weaknesses are, what you know and what you don't know, and how you're choosing to spend your money and your time regarding money. So that was a good 3-year overhaul process.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and one marked thing that I don't mind sharing now. I probably wouldn't have shared it then, but I don't mind sharing it now. At one point, my credit score was so low, it didn't register 3 numbers and through any of the agencies. And now, I'm turning away credit card applications by the handfuls because they're like, oh, don't you want this offer? Don't you want this deal? I'm like, nope, I'm good. Thank you. I'm still doing my own recovery process, and it's very specific and
Mm-hmm.
deliberate and taking me the direction I want to go. So I'm turning 50 this year, and I'm looking at buying my first house.
So you're almost fabulous. Lorraine will tell
Almost.
you it begins
Close.
at 50. You're almost there.
Close.
And you have
I,
also sparked a really great discussion over here on our Facebook group about
Sure.
shoes. So my invitation to you is going to be that you head on over to Facebook after we're done and just engage these
I
ladies
love
and
it.
let them know that you're not saying anything disparaging about shoe purchases.
Not a thing. As a matter of fact, I will encourage you to make choices that will allow you the most possible ways to achieve your shoe zen. Okay.
Well, this
So
is wonderful.
love, love shoes.
We could have many conversations about shoes because shoes may be my favorite thing. But
Yeah. Yeah.
are there any resources that you would like to share with a group?
Mhm. Wow. Resources alone are a whole lot of time that we could talk. What I wanted to take an opportunity to do before we closed out. Yes, I love to help people, but I also love to take just a moment and shout out the people who kind of helped me along the way to get to where I am and where I'm aspiring to be. I believe that you have to surround yourself with people also that are going to help you go towards the life that you want. So I want to definitely call out a few resources. One is Epic Tri-County magazine. They are here on Facebook, and that's run by Sam and Lisa. They're fantastic. They're a community. They deal with a lot of holistic health and connections. Fantastic resource. I think that you would love to be able to connect with them. And then I sit on the advisory board for Project Resiliency Movement. They are also on Facebook. You can find them. They have an event coming up tomorrow called Manifest Your Destiny. And if I'm not mistaken, it's not too late to get tickets there as well. And that is another women's empowering group. Also, my coach, I love her to pieces, Beverly Walthour, business strategist. She is on Facebook. She has taught me so much, and I encourage you to connect with her. She has a free challenge running next week about how to create your first 2K in your small business if you haven't already. And I've gone through that process and that program, and I stand by 110. And then the last resource that I want to bring attention to, who is directly connected with the freebie that I have for your listeners today, is the Bridge Healing Arts Center in Farmington, Connecticut. That is located right here, about 10 minutes from my house, about 5 minutes off the highway. And the director, Courtney Yost, manages that program there. And I think you know Courtney, no?
Yes.
Yes. And so there's massage, there's facials, there's meditation, there's healing of all different modalities in that building. And she and I have partnered to bring you Discipline Works, that's simple strategies for family finances. And it's a Zoom class. It's going to be offered on the 27th of March from 10 to 12. And I'm offering one ticket to one of your listeners today.
Wonderful. So, if people, after we've done talking today, if people wanted to, everybody here is a winner, but one person is going to be a special winner today, and one person is going to get to go to your event for free. But if people wanted to connect with that, is there a website that they could go to?
So it's actually listed under Eventbrite through the Bridge Healing Arts Center, and also on my Facebook page, Momentum Life Mastery Coaching, in the events tab. If you hit the event there, it also will take you for the direct link that goes to the Eventbrite for your ticket.
Okay.
So that's easy breezy. So
And then
Momentum
what
Life
I'll
Mastery
do
Coaching.
is I'll invite you to, after our call today, just pop over into our Facebook group and drop the link there too, so that people could just hit it and head on over directly. So
no problem. Happy to do it.
The moment we have all been waiting for. It's Free Gift Friday. Yay.
Love it. Love
and
it.
so one beautiful, wonderful person is going to be a winner with us today. And so I invite you, please, Typhanie, please choose a number between 1 and 20.
Between 1 and 20. I choose 13.
And our winner today is Jackie Baldwin. Jackie
Baldwin
is our winner today. Excellent. Awesome. Awesome. But of course, we are all winners. So, again, if you are interested in attending Tiffany's upcoming event, she's going to post the link in the chat below and you can take advantage of that. And of course, everybody's always welcome to hop on to a one-on-one call with Tiffany, get to know her,
Mhm.
have some coffee. Maybe there's an opportunity for collaboration. Maybe there's an opportunity for a deep and meaningful friendship. Who even knows? It's just all allowing the universe to do its work. Congratulations,
I love
Jackie.
it.
Thank you, everybody who joined us over on Facebook. Thank you so much to the ladies who joined us here on our Zoom call. And Tiffany, thank you so much for being our special guest today. It is really
Thank
my honor
you.
and privilege to be able to count you as one of my friends. Really excited
I
about
love
that.
it. Love it. Thank you. And thank you so much. Thank you, everybody, for joining. See you online. Check us out. Also, follow us on Instagram. We're in Clubhouse. We're on Facebook. We're on IG. We're everywhere.
Awesome. Thank you so much, everybody. And I'll see you all on the next show. Bye now.